Hello, everybody. Good morning. Here I am for yet another review of the Oval. Welcome. I'm on schedule with it this time. I like to do it the morning after the show airs. Last time it was late, but thankfully this time I am on time. So, we pick up where the last episode left off, and that was when Nancy dropped the bomb on Richard that Picky was her son. And Richard's trying to understand why she never said this before, and she's like, I couldn't tell you the truth. I couldn't. And I'm like, yeah, you could. Yeah, you couldn't do it because you didn't want to spoil your image as being high and mighty. She kind of is judgmental, and she has been so far with Barry. But anyway, and Richard tells Barry to wait outside, and doesn't matter how old you get, you can be an adult, and if your parents have something intends to discuss, they'll tell you go outside, and you do it because that's just the way it goes. That's just something that never changes after you grow up. Leave the room if your parents ask you to if they need to discuss something. So, turns out that she cheated on Richard while he was on a tour of duty in Iraq. Yeah, that's really nice, isn't it? So he's asking her, "Who's the father? Who's the father?" And she won't tell him. So obviously it's somebody that they know, and I'm wondering if it's Sam. Um, so Richard, she's trying to apologize and all of that, and he's not having it, and it's time for him to go home. And when Barry comes back in, Richard just tells Nancy, I want you out. Get out. And she's, I'm not leaving you. And Richard just says, don't you dare make me show my ass in front of my son. Because he was angry, he was hurt, and he was angry. And the actor playing Richard was doing a really good job because he had this hurt expression that was just like, yeah, you could feel that. You could feel what he was trying to convey. He was just like broken, like. So anyway, over at the White House, Donald is watching the news, and they're talking about the shooting at Denise's store. And he calls Kyle and asks him what's going on. And Kyle says, the story is Max and Yuma were seeing the same girl, and they got in a shootout. Yeah, so that's how Kyle is going to spin that one. And Kyle wants to come inside the house, and Donald says, "No, my wife is here." And and Kyle's like, "She's at a motel. I don't play that with me." And so he lets Kyle in because Kyle was right outside. Of course, Kyle is always lurking around, creepy. And so they're having a conversation, and of course it leads up to Kyle being sexual once again. And so Hunter calls Donald, and while Kyle is going down on him, Donald is talking to Hunter about the press secretary. And of course, Hunter is not happy about this press secretary accusing him of sleeping with Ellie and all of that. And, he wants her gone. So let's get on to Priscilla and Sam. Now, Sam comes in, and Priscilla's already in bed. And he's ready to roll, and she's like, "Oh, I'm tired. Go take a cold shower." And I'm like, Priscilla, you're about to lose your husband. Because Victoria is she's ready to roll, and Sam just might end up complying with her desires. So Sam is like, he just pulls down his pants and he's like, "Look at me," and yeah, Priscilla's just like not interested right now. And so there's someone at the door. The doorbell rings, and Sam doesn't want to go answer it. So Priscilla gets up and goes and answers it, and it's Nancy. And so she tells her what was up, and and so that was that. But anyway, let me just get to let me just talk about the rest of what was going on for Sam, Priscilla, and Nancy. So a little bit later, Sam just walks out naked in the living room, and Nancy is there. And to me, it didn't look like she was too surprised to see him naked. You know, Nancy's like she had seen it before, and I don't know about that. So again, him and Priscilla go in the bedroom, and he's trying to do something, and she's like, "I'm not doing anything with her right next door," and he's just like he's persistent, and then she says you're selfish. So I'm thinking that whatever trick Victoria pulls is gonna work on Sam. I don't know. That's just what I think. But we did see a preview. I think it was during the BET Awards of it's something of Victoria, and she was in her slipping up on Sam. So speaking of Victoria, so she she gets a call. I guess it's from well, yeah, it's from a White House staffer. I guess somebody who handles phone calls and the administrative stuff. She tells her, "Oh, your mother called," and then then Victoria asks her if Ellie signed out, and um, she hadn't signed out yet. She was still in the White House. So Victoria takes the call from her mother about Gail, and the mother sounds like some kind of villain. I mean, like cartoon villain. And she's gonna handle Gail. Oh yes, I'll take care of that. I'm like, what? Okay, so I guess the mother is. I guess they're gonna send because in the preview, uh, Jason is supposedly going to. So I guess both of them are being sent away. So let's talk a little bit about Bobby and Lily. And so they had like it was a short scene, not too long. Apparently, he likes pain because he was. I think he said something about her pressing on his wound or something, and so and then she gets to going on about how she likes being with him, and talking about it's been a long time since she had any wet, juicy or something. And then he's like, "Oh well, I'm just a piece of meat." She's like, "Yes, you're a big piece of juicy meat." That was just funny to me. And then so with Gail, so she calls the attorney back, and he doesn't want to help her because he was convinced by her parents putting on that big act. He's like, "Well, they sounded convincing. I didn't think they did, but I guess it was good enough for the attorney." And so Gail goes down to the kitchen, and here comes Victoria. And she's like, "Your grandmother is coming to get you." And Gail's like, "I'm not going anywhere." So we'll see how that uh, plays out because the grandmother is pretty monstrous. So uh, that'll be interesting to see. So get a scene with Richard and Barry, and basically uh, Barry was trying to, he was taking up for Nancy. And he was saying, she doesn't have a bad bone in her body. Basically, she's not a bad person. And Richard is just not really trying to forgive Nancy right now, and Barry asked him, "Well, have you ever cheated?" And Richard's like, "No, I've been faithful the whole time." And Barry's like, "Really?" And he's like, "That's good that you can do that." And then he goes on saying, "Well, I was faithful to Sharon, and she still did what she did to me." And so he sees her phone on the table, and he looks at it, and he finds out that she's there, and that Kareem brought her, and she really should have taken an Uber, because that was not a great idea to come to that house with Kareem. But thankfully, Barry kept himself in check this time. So he goes in the room, and he talks to Sharon, and she's packing, and she she gets ready to leave, and then she comes back and says something smart. And I really think that she was trying. I really think that she wanted to stay, and that's why she kept engaging with Barry. And so he puts on all this. He puts on all this uh, sweet talk, and he gets her to say, he's like, "I need you. I love you." All of that. And so, this is not going to go too well with Kareem. So she gets back out there in the car, and she tells him, "I'm staying." And he goes off. He's like, he's just lost his mind completely. And uh, he's like, "You're fired. You're fired. Get the hell out of my car." I'm like, "You're crazy. You are crazy." So let's get to the end. And this ending was so interesting because I don't know what to make of what Ellie is up to. So they have her and Hunter have a conversation, but the meat of the scene was she opened up her dress, and Hunter was just like going in, and then she pushed him back with her foot, had her foot she had her foot down there, you know, on his Johnson. She's like, "No." And the way she said no was like she was talking to a dog. And he's looking like, I guess he's looking a little bit confused and a little bit thirsty at the same time. If a person can have that sort of expression on their face, if they can convey those feelings at the same time on their face, that's the way he was looking. And she's like, "I will decide if I have an affair or if I sleep with you." And so she buttons up her dress, and she's like, "I know what you're thinking. If you want me to say something like, 'Oh, I'm gonna go home and think about you and touch myself.'" And I'm like, "What exactly are you up to?" I'm like, is Hunter a mark or some kind of plant? And she's targeting him, or is she just really interested in him and is playing some kind of weird game here for her own kicks? And so she's getting ready to leave, but she doesn't leave out of there without some trouble. Victoria rolls up in there when the door opens. She rolls up the. Bam, bam, bam. Victoria will take everybody out. I mean, she beat Denise down. She tasered Gail, her daughter, and uh, now she's clobbered Ellie. So I'm looking forward to see if she hits anybody else. Now she gets with Sam. I want to see if her and Priscilla will get into a fight. That would be fun for me to see. But anyway, that's the review. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Leave a comment below and like and subscribe. And as always, I will see you the next time. Bye.